What up, everybody? What's poppin'? I see you guys loving the thumbnail. Shit, I see you guys loving the thumbnail. I got quite a bit to say about this. But yes, in fact, the Georgio Poullas files have been released by none other than Mr. Pat Downey, who we just happened to have on the platform earlier this morning. Yes, we locked it in. The Pat Downey interview has been completed, and I'll even show you guys. We had Mr. Pat Downey live in the flesh today. Yeah. What the hell? We had Pat Downey live in the flesh. 1 second. So as you can see, bright and early, 9 a.m. this morning, me and Pat Downey getting it in. Getting it in, no diddy. Okay? And then Pat Downey decides to fucking blow up our interview and just start posting on his own damn social media before I could even get the word out. But that's okay. Because we did not, actually, I had asked Pat Downey. Let me take this down now. I had asked Pat Downey in our interview about, there was a reporter who asked Georgio at the REF 06 pre-fight press conference. Oh my goodness gracious, 1 second. There was a reporter who asked Georgio at the REF 06 pre-fight press conference, about rumors that have been confirmed by multiple sources that he has in fact been taken down in his $1,000 Take Me Down challenge. Now, Georgio denied it. We got the footage. Of course, we got the work. We always got the work. Okay, we got everything. We got the files and we got the work. But, Georgio got asked about this at the pre-fight press conference. So what did I do? I had Pat on today. We spoke about the crazy drama in that match. We spoke about, was it a takedown? Were they illegal clubs? All this kind of stuff that took place. But I also got Pat's thoughts on, because Pat is involved in the inner circle of the wrestling community. So I straight up asked him, I said, hey, this lady asked Georgio if there's any truth to the rumors that have been confirmed by multiple people that he was in fact taken down and didn't post it. I go, Pat, have you heard about this? He goes, nope, haven't heard a word about it. Haven't heard a word about it. Homie fucking hops back on Instagram like 2 hours after the interview concludes, and he posts not one, but two takedown videos. Two videos of Georgio getting taken down. So, I mean, we could take a look at it. I mean, that's what we plan on doing. That is definitely what we plan on doing. And I would have gone live earlier, but long day. So I've been editing for like the last 2 hours, and I just straight hopped on here right after that. So, we filmed the Pat Downey interview this morning. Just to give you a rundown of what I did today. We did the Pat Downey interview this morning. Okay, wrapped that up. Still editing the Jacoby Smith interview, but I dabbled in that. I edited a little bit of the Jacoby Smith interview. I also edited a little bit of the Pat Downey interview. But I didn't complete either one, to be honest with you. So I'm like halfway done with both. Then I moved into editing clips. So we got some, clips out for the Jacoby Smith interview. We got some clips out for the Adrian Lee interview. Then I went ahead and moved into making an Instagram post, the Instagram post you're looking at right now. And then I hopped on live. So that's what I've been up to today. I was also out running errands for a couple hours, but that's all good. And yeah, so we got a little bit of a casual thing going on right now because I got to eat some of this fettuccine Alfredo because my mom told me that I can't wait or else it's going to go bad. And we don't always get mom's cooking up in this bitch. So with that being said, I'm gonna eat a little bit of this food right here. I'm gonna eat a little bit of this food before we even get started. But shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody watching. Actually, I didn't have the chat pulled up, so give me 1 second. Let me pull up the chat. Let me pull up the chat. Let me read some chats. I'm gonna read some chats. I'm gonna eat some food, and then we're gonna get started. One more second though. Just give me one more second. Okay, thank you. All right, we will dive into the files, but let's ease into it. What's popping in the chat? What's popping in the chat? Buyer seller saying 40 viewers off top. Your channel blowing up. Shit, it's about time. It's about time. I mean, if you don't, I mean, come on now. Come on now. How many times I got to do this? How many times do we got to do this? You know, all this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to, like I said, last night I popped my shit. I'm going to try to not do that as much, but I'm just going to say it for the one time. And all you guys know it. All you guys know it. You know, all this stuff is coming out right now because of the work we putting in on the channel. Okay. If I never reached out to Pat and if I never interviewed Georgio Poullas, the Georgio Poullas files would have never been dropped. Okay. We need to all be aware of that right now and be under that common understanding. Okay. If I never interviewed Georgio Poullas, where I asked him about Pat Downey's callouts and challenges, okay, if I didn't have Pat Downey on after REF 06 today, all right, if I didn't mention to Pat Downey about these, you know, alleged Georgio Poullas files, none of it, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. We wouldn't be talking about this right now. So, you know, shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the day ones that have been in here since the beginning. Much love to you. All right. Shout out Perfecto. Shout out Tyler Betts. Shout out Jax. I see Jax new in the building. So shout out to Jax. You're gonna love it, homie. All right. You just like this is literally, quite literally, the best stream in the whole game. This is the best YouTube channel, the best stream in the whole game. We already know. We already know. Now, everybody like the stream and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Jax904, make sure you subscribe, homie. We are actually in the midst of a 90-day live streak. We're on day like 6. And anyone who wants to doubt my ability to go 90 days, we've already gone close to 80. So doubt me. Go ahead and doubt me. We've already been close to 80, and that goal was only for 30 days. I turned a 30-day streak into like an 80-day streak. Now we breaking that 80-day streak. We going 90 days. Okay, we putting in the work. All around, we putting in the work. Streaming, interviews. You feel me? We got podcasts with other guests. You know, tune in on Wednesday for the Wednesday show with MTK. Tune in. I think this week I also got another guest. You can look him up online. His name is I Am Saturday. He's a gambler. So I got a gambler coming on to give us some picks for this weekend. UFC 326. All right. We locked and loaded. We got Joaquin Buckley coming on in the near future. Okay, to interview for his upcoming fight with Sean Brady. We got the work over here. We got the juice. And I don't know how appealing this mukbang is to you. And forgive me. Thank you, Scott, saying keep up the hard work, bro. My man. I will. I will. And I will keep it all up. No Diddy, I'll keep it up for you boys. Huh, that's a serious no Diddy right there. I will keep it up for you boys. No Diddy. No Diddy. MGal saying he's jealous of the weather out here. I mean, it's like, I mean, if anyone's wondering about the weather in California, specifically Orange County / LA, I mean, bro, we talking 90 degrees in winter. We talking 90 degrees in fucking March. And if you think I'm lying, America First can vouch. I'm pretty sure America First lives in Long Beach. Keep it up, keep it up. That's what she said. Keep it coming. Mike Ho's been subbed since my Lorenz Larkin interviews, which has been a hot minute. That's been a hot minute since the Lorenz Larkin interview. So, Mike Ho, a real one. Mike Ho, a real one. Rich Charizard says, this is where I get my MMA news. Real MMA news. You already know this is the realest it gets. Damn, I didn't even change my shirt. I'm in my crusty shirt. I'm in my crusty shirt right now. My bad. We out of sorts today. We grinding today. Scott says it was 90 here in Phoenix. Damn. Yeah, just about as hot over here in Cali. Zero humidity. So we got the same weather, Scott. Okay. All right. All right. Shout out to Siri. Much love to you, homie. Thanks for the love. Much love, homie. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Everybody thanks Siri for us. Everybody thanks Siri for the kind words. Anyway, let's get into this. Shit. Fuck it. I honestly don't give a fuck today. So you guys are in luck. You know, I don't give a fuck today. And if I don't give a fuck today, shit, it's going to be a good stream. Before we get into this, everybody like one more time and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Okay? Now let's kind of get through the rundown of the day. It's been a slow news day, but I mean, I got a few topics for us to discuss. And you know, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for it to be slow enough to kind of get into 326, but it honestly wasn't slow enough today to necessarily start getting into 326. So we'll see if we get into 326 today. That might be sometime, this week when there's an actual storyline to go over. But we might get into 326 today, but don't get your hopes up. I'm going to let you guys know that right now. Okay? We might not get into 326 today. We will cover it this week, but we waiting, we patient. Okay, but the other topics I got today, of course, we got the Georgio Poullas files released by Mr. Pat Downey. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at this. The second topic on the day, Dan Hooker issues an official statement, a real video statement, not a tweet this time around, but an official video statement, a response to the allegations. The Dan Hooker files got released as well, like no more than 2 weeks ago. Like last week, the Dan Hooker files got released. Now the Georgio files released. The Epstein files released in like December. So, I mean, nobody's secret safe in the Big 26. Who's next? Okay, but Dan Hooker also addressed, his files coming out on his own right. And, everybody who watches this channel, you are the lucky few, because not only did we get the Epstein files, not only did we get the Dan Hooker files, not only did we get the Georgio Poullas files, but you already know we got the Nick Diaz files. We're one of the only people who got the Nick Diaz files on lock. Now, that's not something we share and broadcast to the world, but just know that this channel has secured the Nick Diaz files and obtained them. Or shit, like Pat Downey likes to say, the Nick Diaz files obtained me. All right, the Nick Diaz files obtained me. Okay, but I'm waiting on the Poeton files. Who's next? Who's next? I see the Diaz files dropping in here. Shout out Scott. Shout out buyer seller. Damn America First saying today was $1 McMuffin today. You know I got mine. America First never misses a fucking discount. And I love it. I didn't get my $1 McMuffin, but if I would have known, I would have got a $1 McMuffin. Okay. So we got the Georgio Poullas files, we got the Dan Hooker files response. What's the third story? Ian Garry snubbed? ? Ian Garry snubbed ? Ian Garry snubbed ? Now, honestly, the UFC, I know that Michael Morales is surging right now. Okay, but we cannot do Ian Garry dirty. And a lot of people are down to let Ian Garry be done dirty. And I'm just really not with it. Oh, yeah, also, Floyd Mayweather still owes Logan Paul 1.9 milli. And, coincidence. Floyd Mayweather has had 3 fights announced in the last month. Smells a little fishy to you, smells a little fishy to me. That's just a side note. We're not even going to really cover that, but I covered it just now. Floyd Mayweather allegedly broke. He owes people money in Dubai or Saudi, somewhere in the Middle East. He owes Logan Paul money. We all know he's owned by Israel. So, I mean, look at Floyd. He got 3 fights booked in the last month. It's screaming broke. I mean, this is like screaming broke. Never seen a hustle like this in my life. I hope it's not true, but it could be true. Now, yes, Ian Garry's getting snubbed apparently. So we're going to read all this. We're going to look into this stuff. But Ali's saying, the UFC working on a big fight for Islam, and it doesn't involve Ian Garry. Speaking about the last weekend's event at UFC Mexico, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Morales was over there and he showed a screensaver of, Islam Makhachev on his phone, right? Either last weekend or the weekend before that. But Michael Morales, he was shown on the UFC broadcast recently, front row at an event, and he showed Islam on his phone. Is that in the works? It could be, because Michael Morales said that the UFC was potentially working on him versus JDM. Now it comes out JDM just got booked against Carlos Prates. So the welterweight division is moving. We got JDM versus Prates. We got Michael Morales looking to get booked. We got Ian Garry looking to get booked. And we got Islam looking to get booked. We got Joaquin and Sean Brady already booked up. We got Usman trying to figure out what he wants to do. He was offered some fights at middleweight. Looks like he's, I don't know what's up with Usman. I don't want to speak for him. But welterweight is moving. And, you know, apparently Ian might not be involved in this title conversation. And I'm just going to leave this as a cliffhanger. Absolutely egregious. Okay. I don't care. And I'd love to actually debate it. I would be open to debate this one. I'd be happy to hear the other opinions. But I'm going to let you guys know where I stand right now. Ian Garry deserves that title shot twofold. Okay. He's done all the work. Going back to 2024, he's done all the work. All right. Took the fight against Buckley. They removed their fight. Then they booked them against different opponents in Colby Covington for Buckley and Shavkat for Ian. You know, Ian turns around at the beginning of the 2025. You know, he does work. I don't got all that stuff off the top of my head. That would be impressive if I did. But just know that Ian Garry did work in 2025. You know, he weighed in as a backup. He did everything he needs to do. He traveled to Qatar. You know, he's done everything he needs to do. I'm behind Ian Garry. Ian Garry deserves that title shot. We'll read all the statements when we get into it. And that's going to be the show for the day, though. That'll be the show for the day. You know, Dan Hooker responding to his files being released and the allegations of him being Zesty. Georgio Poullas' files being released. Ian Garry getting snubbed. Pretty much the stories for the day. So without further ado, one more time, everybody like the stream and subscribe if you're not subscribed. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let us get into it. So yes, the Georgio Poullas files have been released by none other than Pat Downey. PD3, all right, the Lizard King, Pat Downey. Now, there's a little bit of a backstory here, but essentially, it all originates from this platform. We had Georgio on last week before REF 06. We asked Georgio, you know, about the past callouts from Pat Downey to compete in the 1K takedown challenge. Georgio, you know, he kind of snubbed Pat. And, you know, I reached out to Pat for the interview because I wanted to get his statements on what Georgio said about, you know, some of their interactions at the past RAF events when it was cordial, you know, despite the previous callouts. You guys got to go and watch these clips because it's kind of hard to explain. And this is why you guys need to be watching every single night because we got the lore. You know, this only dates back to last week. But essentially, yeah, you know, Pat been calling out Georgio. Georgio hasn't really taken the match. People think that Pat's the one to expose Georgio. So when I had Georgio on, I asked him and I was pressing him about it, trying to get a definitive answer. Are you down to run it with Pat? You know, he did, and then he took it back. You know, he's like, I'm down to run it with anybody, but doing it with Pat doesn't do anything for me. So it's one of these things. So I reached out to Pat and I asked for his side of the story on things. I also asked for his expertise on the viral match, you know, the takedowns, the clubbing, and all that stuff. So that's kind of the backstory of how I know Pat, how I know Georgio, and how maybe I manifested this beef or I re-sparked this beef. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the tape. And honestly, I could show you better than I could tell you. So we're going to review the unreleased raw footage of the Pat Downey interview from this morning. But before we do, let's take a look at the clips that Pat Downey dropped today. Hold on, let me get my headphones plugged in. Let me make sure there's no echo. Okay, we solid. One more time. It also says, word on the street is Georgio Poullas still owes this police officer $1,000. Fraud MCM. So I guess this was a takedown challenge. You know, I was a little bit doubtful of this at first, just because it's in a wrestling room. You know, like maybe he was just getting in work. But if you notice, first off, somebody is filming it as we speak. And second of all, there's somebody off to the left filming it as well. Homie hit him with the move, though. Homie hit him with a little side step and fucking got his ass down. See, this guy's recording right there. You can see this guy recording, holding his phone. Peep the Instagram if you want to see it for yourself. But this guy right here recording, the guy right here whose footage we're watching was recording. And Pat says, you know, this guy's a police officer who Georgio owes $1,000. How true is that statement from Pat? Honestly, I don't know. It could be sarcasm. It could be real. I don't know. But, you know, this is one of the takedowns. I was a bit fishy about this one, but I'm a believe it. Until further notice, I would love to get Georgio on to explain this stuff. Georgio, I still fuck with you, homie. I still fuck with you. It's a tough world. Okay, you may have had to, you know, you may have had to bend the truth for your public image. And I'm here to tell you, I don't look down on you for it, homie. Okay, come on the podcast, respond to the files getting dropped, respond to the allegations, and let's put an end to this. Let's put an end to this. I'm here for you, Georgio. And I still fuck with you. Okay, I'm not against Georgio by any means. But you know what? This is storyline. You know, this is the art of storyline. Boom, again. Boom. Boom. Solid trip. You know, reach around the body with this arm here. You know, elevate this leg, and then he trips the other leg. Boom. I mean, and this is captioned, more evidence of George the fraud. I guess this isn't a takedown either, question mark, exclamation mark. Okay. Question mark, exclamation mark. I don't know why I fucking said question mark, exclamation mark twice. Anyway.
And as far as...
Now here is the footage of Georgio getting asked about, you know, the allegations that he has been taken down, and he didn't post the footage. That's been confirmed by several sources. Georgio got asked this at the pre-fight press conference. Here was his answer to it. You know, he stayed 10 toes down on the lie, on the alleged lie.
Me being taken down and not posting it. I post all my videos. People will always have something to say. You know, it's the internet. People talk. And all that is great. As long as I'm being talked about, it means I'm doing something right.
There you have it. And Hezzo, shout out to Hezzo for being very educated in last night's chat. Much appreciated, Hezzo, because that played into the interview today, where I did ask Pat about the takedown. And yes, Hezzo, Pat is scoring that as a takedown. Pat's scoring it as a takedown. He's saying, you know, it was a continuous motion. It's allowed. You don't got to keep your feet in. So I'm going to listen to Pat. I'm going to listen to Pat on that one. I'm going to spoil it for you. Okay, that's what Pat said. Also, Pat was saying, this is also so great that I had Pat on today. But Pat was also saying that collar ties, right, need to be deployed. Hang on, let me get in my bag here. Collar ties need to be deployed inside the shoulders. You see me inside the shoulders here? We shoot inside the shoulders. Okay, collar tying inside the shoulders. Now there's a little leeway there, but if you're coming boom, boom, okay, those are what we call clubs. So that puts it in perspective for you. You know, the clubbing, the collar ties. You know, Pat Downey explained it. He says if you collar tie, so to speak, outside the shoulders, okay, that's not allowed. You cannot collar tie from outside the shoulders. That's called clubbing. Collar tying is from inside the shoulders. Inside the shoulders. Okay, so now we know. Now we know these things. And, I mean, I think we're actually going to have to go through the whole thing again with this. We're going to have to give you guys all the lore, aren't we? So, I mean, here we go. Here we go. I mean, let's do all the lore. Let's do all the lore. Let's, how do I do this? I'm thinking about how I'm going to do this. Thinking about if I want to spoil my interview for you guys right now or not. I'll spoil it a little bit for you guys. I'll spoil it a little bit for you guys.
And
okay, so if we're going to do this the right way, Actually, you know what? I think it's better if we just do it like this. Let's go to Pat Downey's IG. He did jump the gun, so it doesn't really matter. He did it on his own platform, the call out. He also did it on mine. For the sake of not spoiling the interview, for the sake of easiness, I will just show it on Pat's feed. But here's Pat calling down Georgio to once again compete in his $1,000 Take Me Down challenge. And he's basically responding to what Georgio had to say about him in our pre-match interview. So I'm going to show you guys that clip after this one.
I'm the man to take down George. You guys see the $1,000 Take Me Down? That's my guy, Dylan Palacio. George stole that bit, and I'm calling him a fraud. He says he'll do the takedown against anyone, but why won't you accept my takedown challenge? I don't have a problem with you.
Yeah, are you friends with Pat Downey? Should we call him?
That's from my interview.
You're a state champ from Ohio, one of the best wrestling states in America, but you're out here on camera looking good against untrained civilians. I don't do the gimmicks, but for you, I'll make an exception. I'm who they call to wrestle world and Olympic champs. I've been wrestling RAF's best, and you just had a chance to wrestle a fighter. Decided to make a fight with him, which wasn't very smart. Now, here's what I'm saying. I give you 10-to-1 odds. I take you down, I get 1,000. You take me down or stop me from taking you down, $10,000. There it is. Accept my challenge, or you're a bitch.
There you have it. So Pat Downey offering, I take you down, obviously I get the one band, but let's up the stakes. You take me down, and then he says, or you stop me from taking you down, which essentially means, or I can't take you down, I'll give you 10 bands, which is what he said in my interview too. That's why I'm able to clear it up. But Pat's saying, I take you down, I get $1,000. Now, to up the stakes, to make it more appealing for you to take this match, I don't take you down, 10 bands your way. And or, right, you take me down, 10 bands your way. Call it 10-to-1 odds, right? So Pat Downey quite effectively offering 10-to-1 odds to Georgio on the simple fact that if he can't take down Georgio, 10 bands goes to Georgio. Kind of crazy. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I hope Georgio accepts it. That's one of the most enticing offers I've ever heard of. You know, $10,000 essentially not to get taken down by Pat. Pat will give you $10,000 if you don't let him take you down. I mean, shit, we got to run it. We got to at least try it. I don't give a fuck about my ego. Throw it out the window. 10 bands to not get taken down by him. Let's try it. Let's see what Georgio got to say. Not sure how much, how Georgio thinks Armand stacks up to Pat talent-wise, but Pat is a lot bigger. But I'd just be curious to see, like, if Georgio's like, I just got done wrestling Armand. Like, you think I'm scared of you? Or if he's like, nah, you're too big for me. I'm just curious what he thinks about that. Kind of how he gauged Armand. Like, does he think Armand is super good? Does he think Armand's better than Pat? I'd be curious to know. I think Pat's better than Armand, though, and he's more accomplished of a wrestler on the world scene. You know, not to mention the NCAA All-American and his collegiate career as well before college. So that's this clip. Now let's look at, you know, Pat responding to the clip of Georgio, where I pressed Georgio about running it with Pat, and then Georgio pressed me back. So let's take a look. We got the work, boys. We got the work. Look at the organization. Okay. Just admire. Just look at it and admire it. Okay, here it is. Response to Pat Downey callouts. You know, Georgio Poullas' response to Pat Downey's callouts to compete in 1K Take Me Down challenge. Let's watch it. Homie straight pressed me to call Pat because I was pressing him so much. But let's watch it.
And speaking of the wrestling and how you kind of foresaw something like this happening in your future, as far as like being able to ascend in a way through the videos, it's kind of like, you know, that guy MK. I think he's another viral guy, but he does 101s with basketball.
I just met him 2 days ago. Actually, I ran into him.
Yeah, same type of gimmick.
He's a Greek guy. I'm a Greek guy. We're both Greek.
Oh, Greek. I thought you said great guy. He's a
Greek,
Greek.
Greek,
Yeah,
yeah.
got you. He said that he's pulling some crazy numbers, and even speaking about like the UFC a second ago, he's like, I low key kind of compete with the NBA with my one-on-ones. You know, I draw like 8 billion views a month or something like that. Just kind of curious, how many views you be drawing on your Instagram or like TikTok?
I mean, combined, hundreds of millions of views
Damn.
a month on my profile. Yeah. It just, every month is different, but I don't just do Instagram or YouTube. I do Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. I hit all the platforms.
Got you. So you can multiply it pretty quick. I'm sure like each match you do gets around like 500,000 or like 1 million views, right? At the very least,
Yeah, I mean, it
across
just
all
depends.
socials.
So, like, yeah. So, I mean, if I have a big guy, like a bodybuilder guy, I know it's, getting 1 million views guaranteed. It's just, it's people like the size difference. It's very eye catching. They want to see me go against somebody big. They want to see me go against somebody cocky. And so it's just like when I could verse, a smaller wrestler that's a D1 NCAA champion, and it won't get nearly as many views as if I wrestle a bodybuilder that's never wrestled before. So it's just, that side of the internet. They want to see eye catching stuff. How can you grab somebody's attention?
Mm.
I'm pausing it for those of you with a short attention span. Start paying attention now. This is where I ask him about, like, people asking him to wrestle accomplished wrestlers so we can see where he's actually at, not guys off the street. So this is where I ask him, this is where I start pressing him about Pat Downey.
Yeah, and so that might be why you haven't wrestled some of the people that people probably want you to wrestle, so to speak, like college wrestlers. Because I see a lot of people in the comments like wrestle someone real, not these guys off the street, not these bodybuilder type figures. But it makes sense why you choose these guys because this is what actually gets the views and the attention.
I mean, those people I like to think are just haters. Like I said, I'll do the video with anyone and everyone that wants to do it. I mean, the reason we're on this podcast is because I have a match with Armand. So these people want to see different matches. Like, what do you want me to do? Drive to their house and tell them to wrestle me? Like,
Yeah. So I guess they're just not around you when you're
yeah,
doing these.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, come find me when I have this sign or whatnot. Like, these people request me to wrestle this person, that person. Like, bro, you want me to go knock on his door and wake him up? Like, what do you, like, what?
I guess the Pat Downey one, that's the main one people want to see, huh?
I don't really know anything about Pat Downey. I guess he had reached out to me a couple of times. He actually ended up blocking me because I never replied. But Pat Downey, it's just like he unblocked me now because I made a YouTube video about it. But and we met in person, and he was all cool with me, whatever. But Pat Downey, it just doesn't make sense for me to do the video with. It's I would do it with him. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But
Doesn't make sense for me to do it with. I do it with him. Yeah, I don't got a problem with it. So we don't know. We don't know where Giorgio stands.
really, what's on the table for that for me, right? Like Pat Downey, he's got essentially no followers. He just wants some clout. Like I get nothing really out of that. When I'm versing a guy like Armand compared to Pat Downey, why would I choose Pat Downey when I can wrestle Armand? So there's just different things that go into it. But it's like I said, I'll do it with anyone and everyone, and that's what I stood by. Is there something about the Pat Downey thing that that I don't know about?
No, just I've seen him call you out a lot in the past too. And then I see people think that like Pat's the one to expose you to pay out
Where
the 1 grand.
where has Pat Downey called me out?
I think he's posted on his stories and maybe even commented on like your posts and stuff like that. Have
I've
you
seen
not
a
seen?
couple. I've seen a couple times he used to comment on my posts, but other than that, I never seen him make a post about me or anything. But I mean, I make my posts on social media, and that's it. I don't really check out what everybody else is doing.
I think it was more so like 6 months ago. He was more hell bent on the call out. I haven't really heard him say much about you over the last 6 months. So it's
Yeah, well,
nothing of late.
when you're in the hot spot, everybody's gonna try and get attention from you.
Yeah, definitely for sure. So would you be like opposed to competing against Pat or it just really hasn't worked out like where it's manifested itself?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. No, it just hasn't. The opportunity really hasn't been there. Like I said, come find me when I have to sign. Like, you want me to go to this dude's house, knock on his door, wake him up? You know, I ran into Pat Downey at RAF a couple times. I ended up riding in his car with his buddy. Like, you know, these people talk a lot of shit online, but when they see me in person, it's all love.
Mm. So even like when you guys kicked it, there wasn't much talk about let's run this match that I've been calling you out for.
No, not one mention of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, if he did call you out, would you have ran it right then and there, like hypothetically?
On the mat?
Like if you, because you were kicking it with Pat, you guys were in the same car. If you were to be like, yo, let's run this video right now, like, could you guys have ran it then?
It depends what situation we're in. You know, we were at weigh-ins. We had a match that same day. You know, so going straight into the match, like, it wouldn't make sense for me to wrestle him right before my match. You know.
Yeah, that would, I agree with you there. That wouldn't make too much sense. I was just curious because since you guys were together, but you guys were both competing on that weekend. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Are you friends with Pat Downey?
I've done interviews with him, but it's not like I'm on his side or anything.
Should we call him?
Do you want me to? I mean, we don't got to.
I mean, if you would like to call him, we can call him.
Do you have something to say to him? I mean, I haven't talked to him in a minute. Maybe I can call him on FaceTime.
We could ask him about, you know, his curiosity in wrestling me and you know, what the call outs are about, you know.
All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Like I
Alright.
said, I haven't talked.
Well, shit, he didn't. Pat Downey didn't answer me here, but I sure as hell got a hold of Pat Downey, and I sure as hell got an idea about what the callouts are about. Oh, I sure as hell did get to the bottom of this one.
To Pat in a minute, but let me try. This is perfect for the content, I guess.
Huh. Do you think Pat Downey's a better wrestler than Armand?
This is why I'm saying I'm not sure. I wish I asked Georgio this question right back to him. This is what I was saying a second ago. I'm not sure how much better Georgio thinks Pat is than Armand based off this question he asked me. You know, he's like, do you think Pat's a better wrestler than Armand? And in hindsight, yes, bro. Not only is Pat bigger, but he's more accomplished on the world scene, you know, which is all we're kind of like asking from Georgio, not to be accomplished on the world scene, but can you, you know, in a way beat somebody, you know, that's certified, you know, somebody who's an All-American, you know, an NCAA champ, something. And we're going to get into this too. And I mean, I might as well right now. I don't want to wait to get into it while it's fresh. Okay. Here's the sucky thing for Georgio, and I get it, and I don't mean to put this standard on Georgio. Like I said, I actually fuck with the guy. Like, I think he's a cool dude. Like, honestly. But the thing that kind of sucks that's getting put on Georgio is because he puts on that image of, like, I've never been taken down, I never gave up $1,000, it's opening this door to be like, oh, well, you're the best wrestler in the world, and he has never claimed, okay, let's keep it real here. Georgio has never claimed that he's the best wrestler in the world. And maybe I could have mentioned this to Pat, who knows, but I'm saying it now. You know, Georgio's never claimed that he's the best wrestler in the world. So how fair is it to ask him to be like, you know, you're a fraud, number one, and then be like, unless you go ahead and grapple against an All-American, you know, an NCAA champ, somebody on the world level, you know, or else you're a fraud. Is that fair to him? You know, trying to debunk his gimmick that he's having fun with to grow the sport of wrestling. I guess I'm going to say it's not fair to Georgio. But here will be my little asterisk. Okay, Georgio, I think you got to be a bit more open and maybe say that, like, you know, I can't really beat these All-American guys. I probably can't beat an NCAA champ. I would say just be more real with it. You know, leaving it up to interpretation whether or not you can beat these guys is why there's a lot of questions being asked. If you could say something like, I'm down to run it with him, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to take him down. I'm not going to do the $1,000 take me down challenge with him, right? Because he's actually an All-American. I'm a fucking college dropout. You know, I didn't even make it to the NCAA tournament my freshman year, my true freshman year. So I'll run the challenge with him. I'll show you guys how good I am, but I'm not going to put the money on the line. You know, I put the money on the line when I'm having fun in the streets. This is kind of unfair if I just have to take on like these internet requests, because obviously you're going to pull out the best people you can. And to be honest with you, Pat's twice, you know, Giorgio's size essentially. At least, you know, height wise, Pat's like over 6 foot, Giorgio like 5'7", you know. And Giorgio probably, I think he weighed in around 180 for his match against Arman. I can tell you right now, Pat's sitting at like two plus, you know, 210 plus probably. So that's what I got to say. It is a bit tough for Giorgio to be accepting these offers from anyone, because there's always someone bigger and better. No matter who you are, there's someone bigger and better than Pat Downey. You know, we already found out it's Yoel Romero at this point in time. But it's killing the fun of Giorgio's little gimmick. But I would say Giorgio should humble himself a little bit and maybe pay more respect to the All-Americans, to the NCAA champs who happen to call him out, and pour cold water on that fire they're starting to build up. You know, just show them the respect and say, look, bro, this is honest from me, you know, and I've still been able to do what I did. But, you know, I had a negative record my true freshman year. Like, you think I'm just going to come out off the couch and beat Pat? Like, come on now. I could do this against MMA fighters. I can go in jiu-jitsu gyms. You know, I could do it on the street at an influencer house. These are the places that I can do the Take Me Down challenge. And if I so happen to see Pat Downey at the influencer house, then I'm not going to duck it, right? But I'm not just going to, like, respond to Pat's DM, tell him meet me here, pull up, wait there for him to come, and then run it. And to be honest with you, I do understand that perspective. I do understand it. And do I doubt Giorgio would run it with Pat if they were at the same influencer house? No, I don't necessarily. No, I don't. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I would say about Giorgio and his Take Me Down challenge, and him, you know, in a way with these real accredited wrestlers trying to debunk him because he's getting a lot more clout than them. You know, and at least Muggsy Bulljunk, people know he never even went to college, really. At least never competed in college, especially D1 and all this stuff. I think Muggsy even went to jail. So although Muggsy's a lot more popular than these accredited wrestlers, people know where he stands. They know he's not the best, you know. But I don't think these accredited wrestlers like Giorgio's gimmick. I don't think that they like that he acts like he's never been taken down, that he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't think that they appreciate or like that. And that just is what it is. I'm just here to call it down the middle for you boys. So, you know, that's what I would say. Now let's just kind of finish off this clip real quick.
Well, you know, Pat has that U.S. Open title that he won. He got a couple of the stop signs or something. And then after college, he won on that freestyle scene. So I think he's more accoladed than Arman, just on that level. But Arman hasn't really competed on the same scene that Pat has. It's saying no answer. So I tried.
What do you think about Yoel beating Pat Downey?
Yoel's a beast. He's like a former Olympic gold or silver medalist. But then I saw that Buchanan ended up beating Yoel, which kind of put it a bit more in perspective for me, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's sport of wrestling, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And Buchanan's a NCAA champ coming off that. So
Yeah.
And he's now competing in freestyle. So that was dope for Buchanan. But that, all right, yeah. So we'll move on past Pat, I guess you could say. But did you have anything else you want to mention about the whole Pat thing? I feel like you got intrigued with that one.
It was just more so the way you approached it, but now we can move on.
Okay. Now I was just honestly curious. I'm just trying to ask you the questions that the fans have curiosity about. So it's not like I got any motives going into this, just so you know. I was just asking you things that I think the fans want to hear about, because I've been following you. So that's all that came from.
Got you.
Okay. I see Tyler Betts saying, is Perry using a voice changer here? LOL. Not a voice changer. It's Adobe. You know, Adobe, they got like a podcast beta where you can upload your audio file and it'll like make it better. So that's what I put it in. If you got Adobe, you can use the podcast beta to refine your audio. Maybe it's making it change a little bit. I don't know. But I always do that for the audio on the interviews. It's not changing it though. It's just supposed to make it more crisp. But all right. Let's hear Pat Downey now. high quality mic or some shit. Well, it's this one plus plus the little podcast beta editing. But let's hear Pat's response. You know, there's the clip, right? Now here's Pat's response. There's the clip. Now here's Pat's response. I'm just going to crop myself out because who needs me in this bitch? You know what? We're going to keep me in it.
Yeah, so one
The hell?
why you not Olympic champ? It's not my goal.
Yeah.
Accolades or I saw he
Yeah.
for sure. And still came up short against a guy that's only wrestled one freestyle match ever. So
Yeah.
kind of shows why he probably doesn't have that next level success or any college acumen or senior level
Yeah.
accolades or I saw him also say it's just why, because Armand goes, get taken down, you never give up takedown. He's never. So why you not Olympic champ? It's not my goal.
Yeah.
And by that logic, why don't I got 7 figures and debt-free life? That's not my goal. Anything I never accomplished wasn't even my goal.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So give a fair play there. He's kind of got an answer for everything. But then, but I don't know. I think he's on some good vitamins because he seems to be all over the place. I saw your interview with him. You sent it to me yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah. So one hand, he acts like he doesn't know me with the takedown challenge, but I showed you I DM'd him before asking to do the challenge, and like how, I commented on a video, hey, let a real wrestler try your challenge because you have he even speaks that he's wrestled his whole life, so you're gonna look really good against untrained civilians. That was my whole gripe, And then he spoke on me blocking him, which was funny because he took it personally because he was insinuating that I didn't like him, and dude, I block myself sometimes. I did an ad with Anaconda, and you get these ads, or maybe his marketing team does ads or something, but people that annoy me, spam, or I keep seeing the same shit in the algorithm, I'll block it. I just did, I'll block, I don't think anything of it. But then I saw he was on RAF, and I unblocked the kid. And first reaction in real life, he comes up to me like, hey, Pat, my cousin knows you, super cool. He definitely knows who I am. I'm like, yeah, bro, we're half cousins. I'm in the family. T-Star's cool as hell. That's my girl. So, he definitely knows me, bro. He wrestled a couple years younger than me in high school. So it's one end, he's like, hey, I don't do this for
insinuating he cracked Georgio's cousin is crazy work.
clout. I let anybody give the challenge. And then the other hand, he's like, I need Armand, a bigger brand to boost it. And I post on, Tinder or Twitter or whatever these apps are, TikTok. He's talking about how he's a influencer, so he wants clout and wants a big brand name. But then he says, "Oh, let anybody do the challenge. Why can't I do the challenge?" And my whole thing is you stole the challenge from my boy Dylan Palacio. Give credit where it's due. That's the original take me down for 1,000 guy.
And I do know who Dylan Palacio is, for the record. It's up for debate whether or not he stole it from him. I don't know how long Dylan was doing it, but Pat says he was the original guy. The reason why I'm pausing it is because I have seen Dylan Palacio's videos, and Dylan has posted when he got taken down at the beach one time by a big old kid, a minor. This fucking big old 17-year-old kid came and took his ass down at the beach. After Palacio tried to big dog him and be like, go ask your dad for permission. Homie came back with pops and took his ass down. But just a little bit of lore for you guys about that Dylan guy.
Okay. Yeah, George just kind of blew up more with it, but I got so many people tagging me in his videos like, let Pat Downey try, let me try, and I finally am like, hey, I'll take you down, bro. So it's at this point, now that I've spoken on it to you publicly, if he doesn't accept the takedown challenge from me, he's just a bitch, right?
Well, I mean, he did say he's down to run it with you, but it was one of those weird ones, you're saying, because he goes I'd be down to run it with Pat, but then it doesn't make sense for me because he doesn't have a lot of followers and nobody really knows him. But
I'm
then
a
it's
senior level world team member. I'm a U.S. Open champ. Everybody knows me in the wrestling community, and I'm bigger than him. So there'd be no excuse for anybody. This would be a way for him to put unequivocally, no doubt in anybody's mind that he's legit and not getting taken down. And I'll one up it for him. He gives me 1,000 if I take him down. I'll give him 10 if I can't take him down. So 10 to
Oh,
1
damn.
odds, George. 10 to 1 odds, George. Now
And that's
he's really
just calling him George. Oh, I just picked up on that. Pat's not calling him Giorgio. He's calling him George. I don't know. A bit of lack of respect there. His name is Giorgio. Homie saying fuck it if it's Giorgio. I'm gonna call him George. I'm gonna call him whatever the fuck I want to call him because I could take his ass down. I'm playing. But no, I think that's kind of low-key hilarious, calling him George constantly. It's Giorgio. But yes, here it is. You know, $1,000 if you could take me down, Giorgio, times 10 it. Times 10 it if I don't take you down. I mean, that's one of the most badass bets I ever heard. Times 10 it, X 10 it if I can't take you down. I mean, bro, if I can't take you down, I'm going to give you 10 bands. Definition of put your money where your mouth is. Pat sounds from Philly or Baltimore. He from B-more. He from B-more. He from B-more. People from Baltimore have a weird way of saying like you, I think. There's a certain word I always hear Tank say, and he says it super like different. I can always pick up on it. But right now, I can't pick up on it. Somebody's saying, yes, I saw that wrestling content with the big kid a long time ago. Yep. That was Ryan Giuliano, right? Versus the 16-year-old. No, I think that was the kid Pat just named. I think his name is Dylan Palacio. You'd have to rewind it. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but the guy's name is Dylan something, who went against the minor kid, the big old minor at the beach and got taken down. That actually popped up on my feed like 2 days ago. I never seen it before that. And then Juice Man says, you ever been to Signal Hill? Maybe? What city is Signal Hill in? Sounds very familiar. I just ripped ass if anyone heard it. No, I've never been to Signal Hill. That's like 30 miles away from me. Okay, let's continue with this little clip though.
Now he's really a bitch if you don't accept.
And that's just if you don't take him down. 10K if you don't take him down.
Yeah, I
but
can't
1K
take him down.
to you if he takes you down. Or if you take him down.
Exactly. We run it. I don't know how long you get. A couple minutes or something. I don't know. You know, you get a little circle. Obviously, you can't have the dude out and freaking running around from me, sprinting in a parking lot, or running from me on the beat. You know, you got to have a little
form a circle.
Way to touch him. Yeah, get a little circle or something. But then he goes on semantics too. He's trying to say he didn't get taken down against Armand. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, okay. Before we get into the Armand thing, just to wrap it up with like you and Giorgio. So yeah, I was saying how you've been calling him out, and I was kind of pressing him. Did you notice that he kind of like started pressing me back? He's like, "You friends with Pat? Like, call him right now."
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. I saw it. But that's just you knowing that like I would be a legitimate, you know, test for that challenge. You know
all it comes from is we just want to see how good Giorgio is. That's all it is. You know, it's not like there's no, because I see saying like people are hating, you know, who say that I haven't wrestled anybody, and I'm not even of that logic of like you haven't wrestled anybody. I'm just like, you know, you versus Pat, he's the one calling you out. There's this $1,000 take me down challenge, so I'm just kind of bringing this to the forefront because the fans think you're the guy to expose him, and that's what I told him on the podcast too.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, exactly. And I don't have no hate on the guy. I'm just saying if you really let anybody do the challenge, like let me do the challenge. That's all.
Yeah. What about this car situation? Like you guys were in a car or something like that, and like everything's just cool with you guys, or? All right. I can't leak the whole interview for you boys. That's what members only is for. That's what copping the membies for, because the members, okay, they get the unreleased interview before anyone else. So shit, I can't spoil the whole thing for you boys. I think we got to leave a cliffhanger somewhere. All right, I gave you boys enough of the unreleased interview. Okay, and if you want to catch the full interview, all right, become a member. Become a member today. You can watch the full interview. I mean, I don't want to mislead anyone, so just know it's not up yet. I just filmed it today. I had a long work day today, have not completed editing it, but it should be up by tomorrow, along with the Jacoby Smith interview. That should be up tomorrow too. You know, that's another unreleased interview. You SOB. Jax was just getting started. He's like digging in. He's like, oh shit, this car situation, I'm about to find out. Shit, I'm sorry, Jax. You gotta wait for the clips or shit. Become a member, homie. But come on. Who leaks their own interview? All right, before it even drops. You're looking at him. Okay, for you boys, for the streets. Shout out to James Steele. Shout out to Tyler Betts. You know, both the members in the chat right now, they're going to get to watch this unreleased interview. Okay, so shout out to all the members. Cop your membies now. We got unreleased content dropping soon. Probably, or I'll guarantee, you know, we got unreleased content dropping tomorrow. Okay, on members only. But, yeah, so here's a little tease for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I'm a man of the people, spoiling my own interview for you boys. So do me this solid. When the interview drops, make sure you watch the clips, drop a like, drop a comment, okay? Spark up some engagement to help your boy out because your boy hooks you boys up all the time. All right, so, you know, that's this interview. It was how long was it? It's a 38-minute interview, so, yeah. That's all with that. That's the whole Pat Downey situation wrapped up. Okay, in a nutshell, Pat Downey and Georgio, that's where they stand. Buyer Seller says, I'm on the Perry Punch Light version still. Shout out to Buyer Seller. Shout out to Buyer Seller. You know what? When the interviews drop, okay, on members only, I'll buy a few of you guys some memberships, okay? So the night that I come in stream and I'm like, okay, the interviews are on members only, I'll give some of you guys memberships. And no honey dick, I will do it for you guys, okay? I'll gift you guys a few. So, you know, make sure you click into the stream tomorrow. Whoever watching right now, click into the stream tomorrow. You could be one of the lucky few getting gifted a memby. You could watch the Pat Downey interview. You know what I mean? Unreleased for free. $316 Immortal says, Tyler is a good mod. I'm subscribing because of that. I never seen your channel before. Shit. Tyler Betts getting me subscribers now? Who would have thought? My man Tyler. Shout out to Tyler. All right. And yeah, so shout out to everybody in the chat right now, though. You know, shout out to Buyer Seller, Immortal, Juice Man, Tyler Betts, Jax, Otto. Hope you're doing well, Otto. Thanks for always dropping positivity in the chat, brother. I saw it earlier. See what I mean too, though? When I've told you guys in the chat before, I've told you guys that like you guys are characters within this MMA streaming community, which I never realized existed. But this is proof again that you guys are characters within this community. Like you go in between streams and like other people know other people. Like somehow fucking 316 Immortal making his debut in this stream right now. Okay, he making his Perry Punch debut. And then he runs into longtime, you know, friend Tyler Betts. Crazy. Tyler Betts famous out here. Gravy Show, shout out to member Gravy. Okay, now let's get into a couple of the other headlines on the day. I actually haven't seen this one. So I'm gonna take a look at this for the first time with you guys. In case any corn pops up when I'm scrolling through X. I'm gonna make it black. Not that it ever does really, but you know, it does from time to time for some odd reason. And that would get me fucking kicked off so quick. So no chances. Okay, so well, let's do the Dan Hooker thing first. I actually would love to hear what Dan Hooker got to say. I'm late, but I'm here. Shout out to Gravy. Gravy, you missed the main part of the stream, you know, the Georgio Poullas files being released, but you'll enjoy the replay. All right, let's hear Dan Hooker speaking on the files getting released himself.
Allegations false. allegations. If you want to avoid any allegations that come your way, get yourself a medical card from me and the team at Canalytics. Couldn't be easier. Everything's online. Doctor give you a bell on the phone. Easy peasy. I'm putting cases on all y'all. Allegations. False allegations. If you want to avoid any allegations that come your way, get yourself a medical card from me and the team at Canalytics. Couldn't be easier.
That literally quite makes no sense at all. But okay, Dan. All right, shit. Hopefully you get some sales, but that literally makes no sense. What the hell do allegations got to do with a med card? How the fuck is smoking weed going to prevent you from dealing with these allegations? But whatever. Maybe the whole point of it was to not make any sense at all. I think that was the point of the video. Okay, so that's the Dan Hooker thing. You know, we won't be going over the Dan Hooker files all over again, but that was a solid stream. We got that stream up still. All you got to do is scroll back in the live tab and you can rewatch us going over the Dan Hooker files. James Steele says suspect. I mean, Dan Hooker a bit suspect. I don't know why, but part of me believes that girl, bro. Part of me believes that girl. Call me crazy. I know we should stand with Dan, but I'm just saying something about that girl. I kind of believe her. Oh, I didn't realize he said avoid any allegations with a G-A-Y. Allegations that come your way. I get it now. Now it makes sense to me. Avoid any allegations. But again, allegations and getting your weed card. No clue how that fucking connects, but whatever. Ariel, you know, in his interview with Arman, I'll just spoil it for you. Hamzat wanted to fly down. Who gives a fuck? Stay home, Hamzat. No one worried about you, Hamzat. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Actually, I would love for Hamzat to come to the U.S. on a visa and assault an American citizen. Hamzat, I'll volunteer myself. So your dumbass, your dumb hating American ass will never come back here. I swear, there's one UFC fighter that absolutely hates Americans and is borderline like, I don't know, bro. He talks shit about Americans all the time, and it's Hamzat. He prejudiced towards Americans, fighting for an American organization where American fans adore him. Okay, Hamzat. Okay. Come to our country and assault one of our citizens and see what happens to you, homie. You big bad wolf, right? All right. You'll be a big bad wolf behind bars, homie. You'll be a big bad wolf behind bars. So yeah, Hamzat wanted to come out. Nobody needed you, homie. Stay home. Arman says he spoke with Hunter Campbell, and one of the options presented to him was fighting for the lightweight title in September, October. So he talked to Hunter Campbell a couple weeks ago. They got a couple options. And then this clip isn't posted on here, but Arman says that he wants to spar Georgio. He wants to pay Georgio to spar and take an ass beating from him. That's what he wants. He wants to pay Georgio to spar and take an ass beating from him. It'll be well worth it for him. You know, no clout, no cameras. I'll pay you a bag to come take the beat down. You know, to come get the beats from me. Tyler Betts says, Hamzat going to find out Americans pack more than a wallet in their pocket. Facts, though. Like I say, bro, they're always someone bigger and stronger. So keep walking around like that, you know? Okay. Hamzat selling wolf tickets. Low key. All right, so this was the headline that came out this morning. And it's, Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali, says the UFC is working on a big fight for Islam Makhachev. And then here's the quote. This is, I can tell you, the UFC working on a big fight. Islam Makhachev and Ian Name is not involved. Much bigger. One of the biggest fight in the UFC right now they can make. Stay tuned. So everyone's saying, you know, Ian's out of the title shot. Ali reporting Ian's out of the title shot. So Ian claps back and he goes, I am so glad my agent doesn't talk too much. And I'm just here to say, man, that Ian Garry more than deserves it. Ian Garry more than deserves it. Let's look at his Tapology. So yes, in December, right, of 2024, Ian Garry was originally booked against Joaquin Buckley. Okay, he took that fight. Then he got moved off that fight to fight Shavkat at UFC 310 in the co-main, if I'm not mistaken, in a 5-round bout. Yeah, co-main in a 5-round bout. Okay, Joaquin then headlined UFC Miami against Colby Covington, if you guys all remember that. So Ian Garry stepped up here, right? For his third fight of 2024, he stepped up to fight Shavkat. You know, the last minute opponent change, the short notice fight for UFC Miami against Joaquin, it didn't matter to him. Okay, because when that fight got booked, it was only a month out. So they only got very short notice for it. And you can see Joaquin Buckley canceled, you know, for UFC Fight Night on December 14th. Go see, you know, what card that was. Ian Garry took a fight a week sooner. Okay, even more the reason. Homie takes a fight a week sooner on an already short notice fight booking with Joaquin Buckley. Okay, he goes from 4-week preparation to 3-week preparation. Then Carlos Prates, right? Fights Carlos Prates 2025 in a headliner, 5 rounds. Okay, it's important. If you're a headliner, 5 rounds. Okay, 5 rounds with Shavkat for no reason. In a co-main, 5 rounds with Shavkat for no reason. Taking it on short notice, right? Getting moved off your original opponent, fighting a week sooner. You got to give credit to this. This is why I say Ian Garry takes everything. You know, the UFC, everything the UFC throws Ian Garry's way, he takes it. And he makes the best of it. And you got to respect it at the very least. I don't care if he's a cuck, okay? He may be a cuck, but he's not a duck. He's not a duck. MLE, I see you guys in the chat, but let me get this off my chest. Let me get this off my chest. A little patience. I be reading the chat, but let me get this off my chest. Imagine if I had to fucking stop mid-sentence every time to read a chat. Okay. You know, Carlos Prates main event, Bilal Muhammad, UFC Qatar, co-main event. So he did not headline this one. But you know, after the Carlos Prates win, Ian Garry flew out to be the backup for Bilal versus JDM. You know, May 10th, right? May 10th, after his fight in April 26th. So again, you know, 3-week turnaround, going to be the backup, right? Like no care for his body and his health whatsoever. He's doing this all, you know, to be a champion. And he's trying to prove his worth to the company. You know, I'll be the backup on 3 weeks notice. I'll take a fight on short notice. Oh, you want to switch my opponent? I'll take it. So I don't know. I just respect Ian Garry a lot. You know, 5 rounds, okay, I'll take it. 5 rounds against Prates, okay, I'll take it. You know, Bilal in Qatar, okay, I'll take it. Guy takes everything. So, you know, that's how it goes. 316 Immortal, I appreciate it, homie. And make sure you subscribe. Now you're a part of the streets. Okay, the chat is the streets. So now you're a part of the community, homie. Okay, let me read some chats now that I got that off my chest. You know, Ian Garry, I just think he fully deserves the title shot. Let's do a poll. Does Garry... Okay, let's go. Who deserves next welterweight title shot? And feel free to disagree with me, please. Feel free to disagree with me. But keep it a buck. You know, don't disagree with me just because. But I have no problem if you guys disagree with me. I'd like to know where you guys stand with this whole thing. I'd like to see where you guys stand. 316 Immortal says I did subscribe already. Hell yeah. Thank you for subscribing, brother. Okay, so vote up that poll. Let me see what else we got here. Franklin is saying, I suppose. Okay. So Franklin, like, begrudgingly maybe agreeing. He's like, I suppose. He's like, I really don't like him, but I suppose. Who knows? I'm just reading the chat, so could be well off. I could be way off with that interpretation. Otto saying, damn, you know, Armand's serious about sparring Georgio. Hopefully we get to see it. Facts, though. You know, Giorgio got his MMA debut booked against Overt Flow and Misfits. So you want some work, Giorgio? Go spar Armand. He'll give you a bag. Why is everybody throwing money on Armand or Giorgio? Armand throwing Giorgio a bag to get his ass beat in sparring. Pat Downey offering him 10 bands, you know, essentially for that wrestling match. Dude, Hamzat is in Newport Beach right now. Biosell is saying they don't have iPhones, they have iGoats. MLE saying Hamzat is in Newport Beach right now. Go see him in Santos studio training with Americans. Do you like Strickland? MLE, yeah, I like Strickland. I do like Strickland. Buyer Seller says Garry versus Buckley would be a banger. I mean, it's got to happen at some point down the line. America versus Buck will pull out of his next fight, then cry why he ain't getting any fights. America first. Oh my gosh, dude. Homie is fucking putting bad juju. He putting spells on Joaquin. Gosh dang, America first. I'm a fucking I'm a counter America first spell right now. Dear Lord. Keep Joaquin Buckley safe in his training camp. Jesus' name, amen. There we go. We just counteracted America first spell on Buck. Nice try, America first. Nice try. But I just counteracted the spell. 316 says Ian deserves it more, but Morales is more dangerous in my opinion. Okay. Okay. I think that's completely fair to say, Immortal. And I would say one of the biggest critiques on Ian as to why he wouldn't warrant a title shot is because, you know, Morales has been knocking out his opponents and Ian Garry doesn't do that. You know, Ian's got a really evasive style of fighting. Jack saying, I don't think anyone wants Garry to be champ, but it is inevitable. Yeah. I don't know if it's inevitable, like meaning he will become champ, but people definitely won't be too happy if he does become champ. He got his work cut out for him with Islam. But if Islam leaves, you know, Ian is one of the best in the division. If Islam leaves, I believe it's Ian and Michael Morales at the top right now. Per the rankings. Ian just seems so non-threatening. That's the problem, Franklin. That is the problem. I kind of just got done saying that as well. America First says, I disagree with you, Brandon. Buck ain't worth a buck. I'm keeping it a buck. Buck worth $1 million. He $1 million fighter now. Yeah, Tyler Betts says neither, but if I had to choose Garry, Morales' beat bums. Morales' last win before fucking Sean Brady is Neil Magny, you know? That's why I'm like, nah, stop the cat, bro. Stop the cat. Oh, Gilbert Burns. Still yeah. Gilbert Burns, Neil Magny. Like, come on. Come on. Buckley is dangerous, but his wrestling sucks. Jax says, amen. Shout out to Jax. My man, Jax. Space Kid says, LOL. I knew you guys would like that. But TBH, who else besides Garry? Yep. Rightfully, Islam destroys Garry. Yeah, Islam would destroy Garry. And to be honest, I don't like saying this, but I will admit it. It would be funny to see. It would be funny to see Islam destroy Ian. It would low-key be funny to see. Jack says, I will be so mad if Garry beats Islam. LOL, he is the last person I want to see do that, and I don't like Islam. Honestly, I don't like Islam either, and I would be on the same page as you, Jax. We cannot let Ian beat Islam. We cannot let Ian beat Islam. For the sake of MMA, for the sake of the UFC and MMA as a whole, we cannot let Ian beat Islam. Ian beats Islam. Oh my gosh, just get ready. Oh my gosh. If you thought Ian shit don't stink now, if you thought that Ian act like his shit don't stink now, just wait. Just wait. BJJ205 says, I'm guessing Diaz bros are your favorite. I mean, yeah, you would be right, homie. You'd be right. I don't know what I said that makes you say that, but the Diaz bros are my favorite, brother. The Diaz bros are my favorite. Connor was my favorite for a long time as well on his come up. Floyd Mayweather, my favorite boxer, you know, from back in the day. I really like BJ Penn's career a lot. Those are some of my all-time favorites, you know. BJ Penn, the Diaz brothers, McGregor, Floyd, Anderson Silva. I can see Ian getting dominated, having one good moment in the fight, and giving some annoying proud of himself speech after. Yeah, imagine if he wins, Tyler Betts. Imagine if he fucking wins that shit. Oh my gosh, we would never hear the end of it if Ian fucking won. We would never hear the end of it. You'd be going to bed hearing Ian Garry's voice. Morales versus Nails, Adesanya for a wig match. I like it. I like it. I like it. Morales versus Adesanya. Oh yeah, JP Money, my bad. I saw your chat earlier, homie. Thanks for sending it in again. No Nick Diaz update. No Nick Diaz update, but this is like day, 3 of calling out Martin Sano. Day 3 calling out Martin Sano. I need that fade, homie. I need that fade. Okay? And just like my boy Pat Downey, I got stakes. Okay, I got stakes. I need that fade, and I got stakes. And we finna make a bag off this fade. But what are the stakes? If I beat Martin Sano Jr., you leave Nick Diaz and Kayla Ramos forever. And if Martin Sano Jr. beats me, I leave YouTube forever. All right, I got stakes. Day 3, calling out Martin Sano Jr. Where are you at, homie? Don't be scared. Shit, don't be scary. I don't even know who I like in welterweight outside JDM. Everybody loves JDM. He kind of like a Diaz brother. But not at the same time, you know. He don't got that jits like a Diaz brother. Okay, all right, I think this might come as a surprise to you guys. Sorry for the abrupt ending. But I'm going to hop off stream. It's fine, too. You know, we're kind of low-key. It'll be like we're saving topics for tomorrow. You know, I could be on longer tonight and do the whole UFC 326 breakdown and stuff. But let's just save that topic for tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to hop off stream now, or in about like 5 minutes I'll hop off. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to hop off stream now. I got to take my mom to the airport tomorrow morning, so I got to wake up early for that shit. So yeah, and I also got some work to do, so I know, Space Kid, I know. Sorry, homie. How dare you? Oh, no, he's talking to Jax. Yeah, sorry to anybody who's disappointed I'm hopping off early. Later, Castro. Shout out to all you boys. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Let me just get caught up. We got lots of interviews coming in, so it's like I want to be sure I'm locked in, getting this content out to you guys, and that's why I'm going to be hopping off early tonight. So I can wake up early, get back to work, get back on stream again tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the short stream. I'll give you guys a longer stream tomorrow once I get caught up a bit more. All right, but thanks again, everybody watching. Let me shout out the chat, and then I'll get out of here. Shout out to JP Money. Shout out Dundaughter. What's poppin', Dundaughter? Shout out to Jax. New subscriber Jax. Okay, potentially. Otto, shout out, homie. Member James Steele, shout out. Gravy Show. Shout out to you, homie. Member Gravy. Look out for the new content dropping members only tomorrow. Shout out to Buyer Seller. Shout out America First. I'm gonna go peep that blood moon. Gravy Show. 916. BJJ. Shout out to you, boys. Who else we got here? Tyler Betts, shout out to you, homie. Main character Tyler Betts. Shit, Tyler Betts famous in these MMA stream streets. Shout out to Franklin, homie Franklin. Shout out to MLE. Shout out to Otto if I didn't already say it. Shout out to Mr. Perfecto. Shout out to Mr. Perfecto. Okay. Who else we got? Shout out to the Juice Man. And who else? Who else? Cognac. Shout out to you, homie. Hezo. Thanks for tuning in for the second night in a row. Good to see you in here. Dylan. Good to see you, Dylan. Thanks for tuning in, Dylan. Jim Lotus popped in this bitch. My man, Jim. Jim, thanks for always tuning in if you're still in here. Jesus First, what a name. Hopefully Jesus First subscribed. Hopefully Jesus First subscribed. Scott Snyder, my man. Siri, thanks for the support and the love, brother. And pretty much it. M-Gal. Shout out to M-Gal. Shout out to Mike Coe. All right, shout out to Rich Charizard. All the regulars, you already know. All right.